radius?
Pretty good when he's looking at the quarterback. You know, he's a guy that when he's in zone coverage, he has tremendous range. Coach Walsh, Bill Walsh, started something with the red lines, and it was started. They're about 5 yards from the sideline. You have them on your practice fields because for receivers, you want to always, when you run a vertical route, you want to stay inside the red line and then fade away, right? And put the DB in a disadvantage. We talk about a middle of field safety. Can you cover from red line to red line? And those are exceptional guys. And Malik's one of those guys who can do that. Another guy who's really twitched up.
Right.
You compared him to Ed Reed back in Columbus, I overheard. Why? What is it about him that prompted you to make such a lofty comparison?
Probably the two things that jump out the most are what I just mentioned. Ed had tremendous range and tremendous instinct. So like when he was playing zone coverage, he just could feel where the quarterback was going with the ball. And then he had the explosion and speed to get there. You know, some guys have an athletic, I call it spatial relations, where they just, they can see the quarterback, they can feel the receiver. They don't look at the receiver. They just know where he is and know where he's going to end up, and they connect the dots. And you know, you can coach for a long time, but that's something that's a gift, and he has that.
Did you share that comparison with him?
You know, early on last spring when I started here at Ohio State, after seeing him for a couple months, I told him, I said, he reminded me of a young Ed Reed. But I said what made Ed special is how hard he prepared. You know, so he was a great athlete, but Ed, I think, was just coming off his freshman year when I arrived at Miami, and he really took his level of preparation through the roof. And certainly it was a motivation to get Malik to do that, but Malik's done very good, very, very well at doing that. And I think what preparation does is it just cuts your reaction time. The more you can anticipate what's going to happen, don't guess, because guess gets you beat. The more you can anticipate what's going to happen, it just shrinks that reaction time. And as a coach, that's what you try to do. That's one of
the red lines, they're outside the hashes?
The red lines are outside the numbers, actually, so they're 5 yards from the sideline.
So about how wide would that area be?
Well, it's 53 in the third, right? So it's minus 10.
Is he following the same progression?
Me too. Math wasn't my deal.
Is there a time where, like,
Well, you were helping me, so what does that say?
Between the two of us, we can do it. 53 minus 10.
that's a lot of green to cover. I mean, is there a time when the ball's in the air where you guys are kind of just thinking, oh, Malik's got that, Malik will get that? Because I mean, he's made some plays. I mean, the one against BG where he covered a ton of yards and made that great play, and then that continued the whole season. Like, when the ball's in the air, you just get, oh, Malik's got that.
Again, when he's in zone coverage, you feel pretty good about it, right? And then you say, well, why don't you always put him in zone? Well, then that can be a giveaway too, right? So we try to get him in zone as much as we can because we think he's really good at it. But yes, I mean, you feel good when he's back there, that's for sure.
How unusual is that ability to be red line to red line? I mean, how many guys have you had?
To be able to consistently do it, yeah, every once in a while a guy guesses right and can get there, but to consistently do it, very few. Yeah, over the years, I think back, you know, Ed and Malik jump out.
That's about it, huh?
Not a lot of
Wow.
If you look at Clemson, they have wide receiver Coyle's going to stress that red line philosophy.
They're going to stress everything. Yeah, they're as good as we've seen.
As deep as well.
Yeah, that's what makes them a challenge, right? You know, it's always easy. If they have one great player, it's like basketball. You can take one great guy out of the game, right? Or at least try to. But when you have multiple talented receivers, now they make you play even up. And when you watch so much tape, right? You have a month to get ready for it. So when you watch Google's of tape, and some of those guys, like most of the time when I watch a tape, I say, okay, you watch it and say, okay, they caught it on that team, but they're not going to catch it on us. Our guys will make that play. Some of those you watch and say, well, it's going to be a really 50-50 ball. It's going to be who's going to get it, who has better body position, you know, who's got better vision. So for us to win this game, we really got to be, like I said back in Columbus, we need to be on point with all our coverages. And just being a little bit off, they'll expose that.